talking about sex today and taking you into the bedroom talks. Shimmer on your screens. It's been a while, but I'm going to disturb you a little bit. You see this darling right here is a measuring tape. And I'll tell you what this is all about. First things first. You're viewing this video, make it a deal with me, darling, and click on the subscribe button right there. Yes, 2 seconds is all you need. Oh, you click that button. Now let's hit the business of the day. If you've been trying to move forward with your getting close to a particular Sister Mary, Sister Patience, let me tell you and review to you one of the styles they normally use to check your big daddy down there. Well, you can just be playing with the girl and she's like, she mistakenly hits your D side. And she's like, ouch, I'm sorry. It might not be ouch, whatever sound she makes, but she's like, she's sorry. It's a setup. Every girl really wants to know how much you're worth down there. That is one thing. All those things that Sister Mary has done to hit your big daddy, and she's mistakenly hitting you and saying sorry. It's a lie, you. And some sister Pelumi, some Sister Patience, they will unconsciously stare at the position of your Mr. D every time they see you. So the moment when you're walking down there, they are using their eyes to size up your baby D or your daddy D, whatever the size is. Now, girls, I'm sorry, I just had to let that out. So my point is known. 2 key terms that you'll be hearing a lot in this video is D, which represents the male reproductive organ, and the P, which represents the female reproductive organ. Based on research online, I found out that the flaccid average D of a man is about 3.61 inches. That is when it is not erect, when it is flaccid, and that is equal to 9.16 centimeters. And when the average D is erect, you would have something like about 5.6 inches, which also equals to 13.12 centimeters. So when you make a measurement of that, you can imagine in your head what an average D is like. I don't have to show you how much that is worth. So here's the thing. So many people, especially ladies, even some men, mistake the size of a D as a great yardstick into having the greatest and the longest sexual moments in the bedroom. Here are 4 things that I want to change from the notion in which you believe. If you think that a man having a very big D will make him last longer or will make him give you the best performance in the bedroom, well, I am here to take away your rubbish thoughts and replace it with something better. So it doesn't have to look like, since you were born with such an average D, you have offended somebody or they did not do you well. You believing that the D size is actually what is going to give you the best rating in your sexual performance is a lie. Another thing is that the P is actually a very, very special organ that can adapt to any size of the D. Now, for people who think that, well, I am having a black mamba underneath me as my D, I feel like I'm going to bruise out this girl, or I feel like I'm going to penetrate into her skull. Well, that is up to you and the size of your D. We actually do not care. But the thing is that the P has been created to adapt to any size of D. So you're so scared and you're like, no, sweetheart, it will happen. It works like magic. It's like for a baby to come out of your P, trust me, anything can go in there. Now, to the 4 points I am here to prove to you today. The bigger D isn't necessarily better. For those people who believe that since this D is actually bigger, it is better than those who have average or the small D. Now, I don't want you believing that. Because another disadvantage of having really big Ds is that some positions with whoever you're having a nice time with in the bedroom could hurt. Some positions might not be enjoyable to your partner who has the P that can adapt to any size. And another thing that I want to tell you is that In as much as the bigger D is so sweet to some people, it has a higher risk of giving the lady injury. Like I said that before. Even if your darling D, your big daddy, your black mamba could fit into any of this, it could still bruise the female and give her some injuries. Now, that proves my first point. Bigger Ds aren't necessarily better. But it doesn't mean that smaller ones aren't good too. But I don't want you believing that the size of the D is actually a yardstick for measuring the sexual performance. No, do away with that. The size of a D has nothing to do with stamina. Now, I want you to understand, stamina is referring to how long a man can last per round of a sex moment when you're in the bedroom. Now, to some men can keep going on and on. Some even use things that make them last longer in the bedroom. But now we are talking about natural phenomenon in a natural habitat for a man. For a man, your D, the size of your D doesn't affect your stamina. Some people believe that the bigger it is, the longer you will last. Nah, trash that idea. Some people have small, average, and they are doing really well, and they last longer than people that have the D. Some of them even think, and this is what some men who have the bigger D think, they are like, since they have the big D, they are like, they own the world, and they don't even work on themselves as to how they can improve themselves and get better in the bedroom and, you know, make their partner enjoy it. Well, that's my second point. The size doesn't determine your stamina. Okay, there's this other thing I found while researching about this. Some people believe that even the size affects fertility. Well, I am here to make that your notion very rubbishing. You know why? Fertility means, okay, a man that can produce. Now you're talking about sperm. It is not the D that produces sperm. It isn't the D, but something inside the whole construction of the male reproductive organ. And so by so doing, it doesn't matter that if the size is like this, or as big as my head, it does not mean that it is only when it is bigger that you can give birth to a child. Even people who have really small ones are fertile enough to make you get pregnant. So that's the point. And my last point for today, if still you don't still understand, come to me, I'll explain more, okay? The last point is, the only thing size can do to you, your sexual performance, is to make it either better or worse. Now, for people who have the small D or the medium D, most of them go all the way to understand the best ways to satisfy a woman in the bedroom. Don't get me wrong, some people also have the bigger D and they still watch things online, read things online to just be able to satisfy a woman in the bedroom. But this size, people who have the bigger D, just like I said before, some of them feel like that is all you need as a man. But as a man, trust me, you might have some inbuilt stamina, some inbuilt dirty, thinkings, and you feel like you could win. But the size sometimes deceives some men, and they feel like, yo, right now with the way I am, I have got some black mamba and I am a proud man. I understand you're a proud man, but can you give the peace and pleasurable moments? That is up to you. So you're believing that having a good performance in the bedroom or having a bad performance in the bedroom is based on the size. Darling, trash that idea right now. So at the end of the day, can you see that a size isn't a yardstick for measuring good sexual performance in the bedroom? If you have thought about that and you're one of those people thinking about that, I am here to confuse you and also to convince you that whatever you were thinking before is wrong. Please give that brother a chance. He might actually help you to rough handle your pee. He might help you to manhandle it. Just take a chill pill. Have fun with that brother. Some of them are actually really good. And stop using your eyes to measure, because when a man's D is actually flaccid, you cannot see the extent to which it grows when it is erected. So at the end of this, I'm gonna say thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you on my next episode. And definitely, I love you very, very much. And if you haven't subscribed, take out this chance to support your girl. Click the subscribe button, and I definitely will be back with more exciting content.